It's time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Happy Wednesday, friends. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're so happy to see you this morning. This is Kristin Odell of Grow with Kalo. I'm Tina Prigge, Vagabond Creative Studio. Thank you to Just Orthodontics for sponsoring our show this morning. And we're so happy to see you.
Good morning. You guys,
And
if the lighting is weird today, it's because the sun is shining.
it's that John Denver song, Sunshine on My Shoulder Makes Me Happy, right? It's just wonderful.
I think you should sing to us every time we start the show.
Do you know how many people just tuned out right now? Because
That is not true. The viewership just went up because somebody sang.
I mean, singing is good, right?
It is good.
It's like that Cat Stevens song. If you know.
Keep doing it. Let's see how long I can go singing tunes.
Did you ever play that game where you try to communicate only in song lyrics? Like, in order to convey something, you have to sing a little refrain from a song?
No, but my mom grew up we grew up with my mom singing in the background a lot, and it's kind of become a joke. Like, at weddings now, we're like, "Oh, is Vicky singing at the wedding this weekend?" Which she doesn't has never done that stuff, but it's just kind of a joke. So, we have been known, like, in my adulthood, I have started, like, doing the same thing with the girls sometimes, but I don't know how good I would be at a game like that.
Yeah, it seems like at first suggestion, like, "Oh, sure, there's plenty of song lyrics that I know," right? But when
Right.
you really try to apply it, it gets hard
Oh,
fast.
yeah. I think it would be very hard. I would have to really think about that. I will do my best to break into song at least once during the show today.
I love it. I
How about
love
that?
it. I love it.
I'm not as nearly as good of a singer as Tina, but I will try.
There's no judging happening here. It's all about having fun and letting your voice
Oh,
ring out.
I
It's
love
also a
it.
similar challenge is, trying to communicate with, like, movie lyrics, or
Yeah.
not movie lyrics, but, like, movie quotes.
So I have some cousins that are fabulous, fabulous, fabulous at that. Really good.
That's fun. That's fun. I would love to be good at it, but I think I always paraphrase. Like, just when I think I've got, like, "Okay, this is what The Big Lebowski said," and then I've muffed it, so
Yes, I get it. Actually, I don't know if I should be proud of this or not, but this last weekend we watched Talladega Nights with our children, which maybe isn't fully appropriate for, 9 and 10-year-olds, but we rolled with it as a family. It was an event, right? Doug and I's first real date was to see Talladega Nights and have dinner together. So, like, this is a special movie to us, as stupid as it is. And the girls are like, "Wait, that's where you got the line, 'Don't put your evil on me, Ricky Bobby'? Like, this is something we say in our house." They were like, "Wait, that's what it's from?" And I was like, "I have never been more proud of my children than I am right now that they recognized it."
That's awesome. Speaking of Ricky Bobby, those speed signs? They're, like, digital and they'll, like, flash your
Yes.
speed and then give you a little message. There was one that if you hit a certain speed, it would say, "Whoa, slow down, Ricky Bobby."
Yeah, and the problem with that, at least for me, is, like, now you've encouraged me to speed enough to see that number.
That's what I said, right, that's exactly.
Oh,
Because then somebody in the car with me is like, "No, I didn't see it, do it again." I'm like, "No."
turn around, try it again.
Yeah. Hey, is Talladega Nights, the one with Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd and, Steve Carell and
No,
the no, okay.
no, I'm trying to think about who's all in that movie. Um it is Will Ferrell, and then the guy that, oh, he's like the Frenchman in the movie, I can't think. It starts with a B. He was like it was another show that he's super weird and talked with an accent. Why can't I think
Okay, who's watching? Who knows what Kristen's trying to say?
of this? Kristen's trying to say a whole lot and not getting the words out. It's fine. I'm
So,
gonna Google it
it's in
right.
Talladega Nights, okay.
Yes. But anyway,
So while you're Googling it, tell me, did your mom sing happy birthday to this guy?
We totally sang happy birthday to that guy. You guys, this is my dad, and he turned 81 yesterday. And we had the pleasure of celebrating as a family all together on Sunday. Look at that. Isn't that so great? My mom made this giant, amazing chocolate cake, his favorite. And so we got to celebrate with pizza and cake on Sunday. And then yesterday was his real birthday. So the girls and I stopped to see him yesterday and visit. And it's just so great. I'm so happy.
That's awesome. I was gonna ask if the cake is as big as it looks or if that was a perspective in the photo because it does look huge. That's
No,
great.
it's really like when you would, if you were to carry that platter, it would like be as big as you are wide.
So does she have a cake pan that's that large?
She does.
Wow.
Circle ones and square ones.
All right, your mom's kind of amazing, isn't she, in the kitchen? Wow.
She's a whole lot of amazing for a whole lot of reasons. That is just one of them. But it
Awesome.
is, oh, the cake is so good. All right.
Yay.
So I have it. So Leslie Bibb is Cal Naughton Jr. You guys know this guy, right? He's in a lot of other Will Ferrell movies.
Oh.
And then Sasha Baron is Jean Girard. And then I'm just trying to see, there's a couple of like Amy Adams is in there, Susan is hot girlfriend. And I'm trying to think about who else is in there that would be people would know. Molly Shannon is like the wife of the NASCAR guy, and she's in the box. And
Oh, of course she is, yeah.
gosh,
I thinking then of The Anchorman, where Will Ferrell, Paul Rudd, Steve Carell,
yes,
they sing "Afternoon Delight." That
yes,
scene just cracks me up.
yes. That is exactly that, Anchorman, and those are also hilarious. I feel
So
like that's
is that
one of those things that like either you're a Will Ferrell fan or you're not. And if you're not, like you just think it's idiotic. But if you are, you love them.
if I'm in the right mood, it is awesome. And just that scene, Jason sent me a clip of them singing, and I watched it on repeat a couple of times. It's just so funny, and, like, Steve Carell has this, like, terrified look in his eye while he's singing, and then he hits the high notes, and then Paul Rudd I just yeah.
They're really brilliant. I mean, we just even something like Step Brothers is an absolute idiotic movie, like in whole plot concept. I cannot like I laugh out loud every time I watch it. And I have favorite parts like, oh my gosh, we love it so much. So
So is "Afternoon Delight" is that the selection you're going to sing for us today?
no. I need to feel inspired. It will just come out. It'll just be like natural.
Okay, cool. Hey, speaking of inspiring, you guys, I just want to share this picture. Um, Grateful Days Studio. So Melissa Walsh, she's a potter, and she made these incredibly gorgeous little pots. She also grew the little plants, and I got to pick these up yesterday, and now they're in my workspace. And it just is such an inspiring, cool little vibe. And I love to know that they're handmade. And what's beautiful too is the bottom, so it's Grateful Days Studio, it's signed Grateful on the bottom. So it just has
Aw.
this, like, kind of gratitude feel.
So when you feel those little pots, how do they feel compared to the coffee cup? Because you've talked about your coffee cup before.
It's just like that.
Is
It's
it?
just so smooth, like yeah, part of me was like, "Hmm, should I not put the plant in so I can just pick it up and feel it?"
Well, you still should be able to. I mean, maybe you just can talk to your plant and like feel the pot.
Yeah. Now the hardest part was the selection. There were so many, I just wanted to, like, take all of them, right? It was really hard to like, narrow it down to just 2.
So what do you think is the inspiring what is the thing inside of you that feels good about them? Is it the pottery that it was like handmade or locally made? Is it that you have plants like they can bring life and air into your space? Is it the combination of them with the little Buddha guy who's so cute? Like what is
Oh,
it for you?
yeah, so the pots themselves are works of art, right? Like, you can tell that they are made, just with love and attention to detail. So, I love that they're already beautiful, these works of art. They're made by a really cool person who's doing her work locally. She's a momtrepreneur like us, doing her work amongst taking care of her kids and stuff. And then the plants too are all grown by her. right? So, like, you know that these little plants are at that stage in their life because they've been, like, lovingly tended, and so just the whole package, and just having that little bit of life in my busy, complicated, scattered workplace just is
Right.
like this little spot of zen when I look at it.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool. Well, you guys, you can check her out. She's at the indoor farmers market, correct? At Grow Forward.
I think so. I think, like, this coming Saturday, I believe she'll be there.
Awesome. So if you want to check her stuff out, that's where you can find her.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's really cool. And more than just pots too. I've seen she's got coffee mugs like I showed you on the show. She also makes really beautiful like wind chimes and other like decorative pieces. I saw some tiny little like cat shaped dishes that'd be perfect for like putting your ring in when you do the dishes or something like that.
Cool. Very cool. Well, you guys check it out. Indoor market, Grow It Forward. I don't know the address off the top of my head, so you're just gonna have to roll with it. Look it up. You'll find it.
Yeah, it's like 1501 Marshall, like
Mhm.
Marshall and 15th Street. You can't miss it.
Yes. That was pretty good. I think 1501 is right. That sounded right. You sounded confident when you said it.
Thanks. Can you sing a song about it?
No, not
No.
yet.
Okay. So I just love, handcrafted things. I love the result of what people are capable of doing, especially when they allow themselves to do it.
Mhm. So, this is just inspiring a thought in me. It's not gonna inspire singing yet, but one of Nora's homework assignments last night was to read a book about Beethoven.
Oh,
And so we were reading about how by the age of 18, he had essentially lost his hearing but he could hear like a full symphony in his head. And so he was able to continue writing this amazing, beautiful music beyond the point when he lost his hearing. And I just like, I know the story. I played in the orchestra from, the time I was like in third or fourth grade through high school. I've played some of his music, but like to to see it on the page and revisit that story, I just think about how inspiring it is for someone to essentially handwrite like they were drawing sheet music basically, and inspiring the world for basically forever with that music and not actually ever being able to hear what he would. I mean, he could hear it in his head. He spoke a lot about hearing it in his head, but
yeah, that's incredible. I can't imagine. I can kind of imagine hearing it maybe, but
Mhm.
to be able to then translate it onto
Right.
paper, to know the notes, to know the instruments,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Yeah, and when I think about the context of like, what if you were a chef but you couldn't taste anything?
Right.
Right? Like that's like the idea behind this, and it's just or being an artist, being a painter and not being able to see. I don't know. I
Or
can't
being
even.
colorblind maybe,
Yeah,
or
I've like it's a really hard for me to wrap my mind around it, but it's just really, really cool.
so speaking of like other arts and people doing their what they love. So there's a girl that I know, she was in Manitowoc, now she lives in Hawaii. And for a number of years, she's been hand making jewelry. Just beautiful little things. I follow her. I love her work too. And for Christmas, Jason treated me to a pair, right? Which made me
Oh,
so happy, but I'm always really nervous about getting brand new things because I always, like, break it or lose it, like, if I get a new blouse, 5 minutes later, there'll be ketchup on it, right? Like, there's just always something. So, I got these beautiful little earrings, right? And if you look, it's like a moonstone and it's little iolite, they're just really delicate little things, and I was wearing them to work, and I went to a video shoot, and then I went home to grab some lunch, and I reached up, and the earring was gone, one of them. I'm like, right? So
right.
I know I just felt terrible. I'm like, okay, it's just a thing. Like, don't worry about it. But like for so many reasons, I was just crushed. And so like, I messaged the place where I was. I'm like, just in case. And that's why I have this picture. I'm like, I lost the partner to this earring in case you find it. That's what it is. And then I said to Jason, all right, on the way back to work, I just want to check the parking lot too, where we were parked. Like maybe when I took something off and put it in the car. So we went to the parking lot and I was kind of hope filled. Nothing. And then I thought, well, maybe when I put the equipment in the back of the car, right? So I walked around to the back of the car and I reached down and I was going to open the hatch. And there in the snow that was on my bumper was the matching earring. So like I had
Seriously?
already driven around town and back and there was the earring on the bumper. Isn't that amazing?
That is incredible. So, like, the snow is like this perfect little safe haven for that earring to just stay right there.
Right? And so now they're matched again. So, like, it must be the perfect, like, weight that it didn't fall off and that it I don't know.
I'm so thankful for you that you found because, like, there's an emotional treasure then, like, Jason gave them for you for Christmas, and the person like, knowing that one of them is missing just had to be heartbreaking, and,
It was.
like, I'm so glad for you that you found it.
Thank you. Thank you. I know, and we called it a miracle. We were both like, we couldn't believe it. Of
Right.
all the places.
How is that possible? That's amazing.
I know.
Very
And, I
good.
mean, if I hadn't stopped to look for it when I did, I can't imagine how much longer it would have lasted there.
Right, right. Okay, if you guys have a fun miracle story like that, you need to pop it in our comments and give us some when hump day inspiration today.
Some hump day miracles.
Yeah. One time I thought I lost one of my diamond earrings from Doug,
Ah,
and we were swimming and I only had one, and I was like freaking out, and then we got back home and I had the other one in my jewelry box. When we were changing to go swimming, I took one out but not the other. So I basically tortured myself for no reason. And they were like a Christmas gift from Doug. They were meaningful. I wear them almost every day. And I was like, I can't believe I lost it. Oh my gosh. And then there it was. I was like, oh, thank goodness.
see, it's a miracle. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So on our wedding honeymoon, we went to Hawaii a long time ago, and we were swimming. It's like our first day. We're in the ocean, and Jason jumps out, and he's like, "Oh my god!" His wedding band was gone. So for like 2 hours, he's like looking in the in just like in Lake Michigan, right? If you lose something, it is gone. The lake like gladly claims it. Well, the ocean is no different. Like there was no way we were ever going to find it. But like 2 hours later, he's all sunburned, no sign of it. So like 3 weeks ago, we were at the Wisconsin Maritime Museum, and they have this new collection of all of these artifacts from shipwrecks in Lake Michigan. And they were like, and look, one thing is this ring, this wedding band. And Jason and I both like snapped our heads and looked at each other. We're like, is it yours? And it's like not even close, but
Right.
it's funny that we're still thinking like someday, somewhere it's gonna show back up.
Yeah, you didn't, like, go and find a kid with a metal detector on the beach somewhere and
Oh, I mean, there were huge waves. It was like there
I know.
was no way.
Oh my gosh, that would be so, like, just gut-wrenching.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
but and he was worried, and I think he was looking so hard because he's like, "Please don't take this as a sign,"
Yeah.
right? Like, "I love you, I wanna stay married to you." I'm like, "Oh, don't worry." So we, like, went to a vendor and just found, like, a street, ring that he could put
Yeah.
on, and then yeah.
Does he still have the street ring?
Yeah, now if you ever notice, he's got 2 rings. So he had his original band remade when we got home, but then he keeps the street vendor band
Oh,
on
I
too,
love
so that's
that.
kinda cool.
Perfect. I love Chris's message. She said she loses rings all the time, and there are times when she finds them, but they are typically in the oddest places.
So is that the universe trying to figure out how to get it back into our lives? Like, "Oops, we forgot to put this where it belonged.
Maybe.
Let's sneak it in."
Yeah, sometimes I take this as a sign. This is kind of a Lori Crawford thing, but like it's a stop in the day-to-day life to just be fully present in that moment. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I found this. And there's no like, you know, forward or past or in the moment, you're just like stopped in your tracks.
Yeah, that's a cool experience.
I think it's really
Chris,
cool.
thanks for sharing that story.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely. Chris said it's amazing when you find a lost earring.
Or a lost anything. Like people keys, oh my gosh. And then let me think about this. Isn't Saint Anthony the the Catholic saint you're supposed to pray to if you're missing something?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure about this. Somebody chime in. To the point that like if you still haven't found it and you've been praying to Saint Anthony, you're supposed to get like a little Saint Anthony statue and like bury it in your yard, and then it's supposed to like help you find it.
Wow.
Somebody tell us if I'm right. I'm pretty sure.
So
Maybe
Chris,
Kay said yes. Thank you,
Kay
Kay.
said, "Yeah, way to go." And Chris said she's got lots of stories of lost and found jewelry. Chris, have you ever buried a St. Anthony statue to find what you've lost?
Yeah. My grandma Zip talked about like praying to Saint Anthony to find stuff. Oh,
Let's see. Okay, Vicky, your mom, right, said, "Cindy lost a diamond from her wedding ring up north." Oh my gosh. "And I found this tiny diamond out by the fire ring." What? It was shining in the sun? Now that is amazing.
that is amazing. I don't think I knew that story. Holy cow. That can you imagine this like you're like see this little glint from the sun and be like, "Wait, is that the missing diamond?" Oh my gosh.
And to lose something like as valuable as a diamond,
Yeah.
right? That's totally different than like the earring I was showing you. I mean, that's really where like the heart pain comes. So that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I think, there's something like it's not just the value of like a diamond, but just like the emotional value of that. Like if I lost part of my wedding set or my wedding ring, like it would be the emotional tie for me that I would suffer from. It wouldn't be just that. I mean, obviously it's valuable, but like it would be that emotional, like Doug picked this out and he gave this to me and now I don't have it. That's the part that would make me sick.
Yeah, I totally agree. Hey, Chris said you bury St. Joseph to sell a house. You
Okay.
pray to St. Anthony to find things. So
Thank you,
maybe it
Chris.
like doubles down on the power if you do.
I knew there was a burying and a praying. I just had them mixed up a little bit, okay?
So, Kristen, we're talking about amazing things. Can you tell us more about this amazing thing?
You guys, I woke up this morning fully in a space of gratitude and excitement. So, listen, first of all, there's a club in Manitowoc County called 100 Women Who Care. And basically, what you do is if you become a member, you pay $100 once a quarter, and local nonprofits come and they basically pitch a project or something that they're looking for a donation for. And then you get to vote. So when you go, all the nonprofits put their names in, they pick three out of the three. They come up and present and tell you about the organization, and then you get to vote. And one of those organizations wins the money for the night. So last night was 100 Women Who Care in Manitowoc. I went there with my dear board member and my friend from Lighthouse Recovery. So I'm the president of the board at Lighthouse. And we sent Chris on vacation. So she was gone. She knew we were going, but we went in her place basically. We got picked as one of the nonprofits to speak, and I had the pleasure of representing the organization. It was just such a privilege to be up there to talk about the amazing mission and the work that's happening there. And we won. We got picked. They picked us.
That's
And
amazing.
so, yeah. So, and then all these amazing women, like this is not all the women that were there, but you have all these amazing women in the room who wrote checks last night for Lighthouse Recovery. And so they're going to get that donation. And one of our big mission projects for this year is to provide housing and recovery. I should say recovery housing only for women and women for kids. And this money is going to allow us to renovate a spot to do that sooner than we had planned.
I
It's
love it. So
incredible.
all of those women in that picture are totally doing what they can to make a difference in our community and to make it a better place. That is incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, Becky said, "Congratulations. I love this group, right? So awesome." So does Chrisma know? What did she say? Did she freak out?
So we like tried calling her after we got done. She said, she texted Beth Snyder, Beth's the amazing operations manager at Lighthouse, and said, "You have to tell me if you get picked." And we told her, no. We told her, no, you're on vacation. You don't get to know. Well, then we won. So we tried calling her on FaceTime and she wouldn't answer. So she did find out late last night. I was able to share the news with our amazing board last night. It's so exciting. And I cannot even explain to you what it feels like to be in a room with that. I mean, there was probably like 120 or 130 women there last night in this room listening to presentations, but to be in a room where the sole focus of those women that are there is to support nonprofits in our community and leave writing a check to help move their mission forward. So like we're all in that lane. We're all in that like-minded giving space. And it's really powerful.
That is a beautiful thing. Wow. Thank you to everyone that was there that did that. That is
Yeah.
incredible.
And I will throw a, a link to the Facebook page for 100 Women Who Care. If you want to come and join us, it's basically $400 a year. That's what you're signing up for. But that money goes to nonprofits in Manitowoc County, and you get to vote every time there's a meeting. So you get to choose. And it's, I don't know,
Yeah,
there's
and
no
it's
words.
such a grassroots way to come together to make a difference too,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
there's zero bureaucracy involved in that.
Yep, and they usually serve dinner or snacks and, somebody sponsors that, and I've got just full love and full gratitude in my heart. Like, I woke up this morning like, "I still can't believe that we won last night." It just is so cool.
Okay, sing a song about it.
I can't. I've jinxed myself.
Hey, my mom said, "Don't you bury a statue in the yard when you want to sell your house?" Right? And we confirmed, yes, you bury Saint Joseph. But that makes me wonder, are there like houses all over that, you're gonna be like digging a garden and you find these little statues?
Yeah. Hey,
And
I
what do
got a
you do
song
if you
for
find
you.
one?
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I know, I know, I know, I know. I don't know the rest of the words.
That was awesome! That was awesome! All right, we are taking requests, so make sure you put it in the chat for next time.
I do, on this topic, there probably is a lot of houses with a statue buried in the yard. And I also would just say, like, I don't feel like that's a bad thing. Like, that's all good juju around a house and like, right?
Right. Yeah, and so what is the protocol? Like, if let's say you're planting a garden or a tree or something, renovating, whatever, if you uncover one, what's the protocol? Do you bury it back in another spot? Or since you're not trying to sell the house, do you, like, wash it off and put it somewhere? I don't know what the protocol is.
I would wash it off and bring it into my home as like a blessing thing on the home. That's what I would do.
Ah, yeah, cool.
Thanks, Terry.
Nice. Great singing. I totally agree. Hey, Kristen, will there be any singing at the Women's Summit?
Oh man, I'm not planning on singing there. Are you planning on singing there?
I wasn't planning on it, but maybe Becky Richards will.
Um, that's good. That's very good. So listen, ladies, this is coming up. The deadline to register for the Women's Summit is next Friday, February 17th. So not this Friday, the following Friday. We are down to, I'm pretty sure 20 tickets or less. I was just going to check to see if Miss
Oh,
Richards, 25 sold. Okay. So they are, now that people kind of know their schedule for February, we are seeing the ticket sales definitely pick up. If you're planning on coming, grab a friend, grab your sister, grab your mom. Please come join us. It's going to be an incredible day.
yeah. And we would love to share it with you. And before we wrap up, Kay, let us know that after you sell your house, you're supposed to dig up the statue and then you put it in your new house in a place where all can see. Okay, so there aren't necessarily statues buried hither and thither across
I
across the
guess that
cool.
makes sense. Hey, listen,
Fun.
Nora got a metal detector for Christmas. This is something she really wanted. She's very excited to like take it camping and putz around. It came with tools to dig. So if we find anything fun with the metal detector over the summer, I'll be sure that I bring it here and we share it.
Oh yeah, tell us stories about that. That's fascinating. And
Yeah.
let's see if there's a song we can sing about it. And
And there's a song we can sing about it.
all right, you guys, thanks so much for joining Kristen and I this morning for Coffee with Kristen and Tina. We've had a blast. I really enjoyed the start to Wednesday. I hope the rest of your day is awesome. Let us know what else we can talk about next time, any follow up thoughts that you have on what we talked about today. We're already looking forward to it. Again, the summit is coming right up, so get your tickets because this is going to be a cool day that we can all share together.
I hope you guys have a great day. It's been fun. The time went so fast today.
I know it did. And thank you to Just Orthodontics for sponsoring the show. We greatly appreciate you. See you
Mhm.
next time on Coffee with Kristen and Tina.